welcome back. So, for today's practice, this is going to be a Hatha practice, so a bit stronger than the beginner's one that we've done. If you have blocks, please grab them. You can have one block or two, depending on what you need. If you don't have blocks, find some books, stack them up. Always an option. Find something you can use to press your hand onto that will keep you nice and stable. So, stack of books works perfectly fine. You're going to also need a strap or a tie, actual tie. So use whatever you have. You don't have to order anything too fancy. I'm sure nobody would mind if you borrowed a tie, whether it's your own or somebody else's. Grab what you need. We're going to start on our back. So coming to your mat, gently rolling down. Normally we would have a nice relaxation for 15 minutes in class, but as this is a video, just give yourself a few minutes to slow your breath, to come into your body. You can walk your feet out to the outside edges of your mat and allow your knees to collapse in on each other, supported. Slow your breath, breathing through your nose. I'm aware I'm breathing through my mouth, but I'm speaking, so. Feel your tummy expand as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out. And just release into the floor. Notice how your body feels today. If you prefer, you can have your legs out straight. If you have a bolster at home, you can pop a bolster under your knees for a few moments. Slow your breath. Gently slow your mind, letting go of those to-do lists. And you're going to focus on you and your practice. And listening to your body, how it moves, how it feels. Bringing some awareness to your body and to your breath again. We're walking our feet about hip width apart, so just behind our hip bones. And you can have them within reaching distance, or if this feels a wee bit much, you can have them slightly further away. Please note, I am not a health professional. If you have any concerns, please contact a doctor before you start this practice. You are doing this yoga practice at your own risk. So our feet are about hip width apart. We will start by filling our belly, tilting our hips forward, gentle arch of your lower back. On your out breath, tucking your pelvis under. My hips are staying on the floor, my back flattens, and my bum starts to engage. On your in-breath, filling your tummy, allow your hips to tilt forward. Your back arches. And on your out-breath, tucking under. Feel your back flatten and your belly engages. You might notice the backs of your legs start to engage. And now, once again, filling your belly, allowing your hips to rock forward, arch your back slightly. That will happen as your hips tilt forward. And on your out breath, tucking your hips, your pelvis under, and you're gently going to lift just maybe an inch off the floor and lower down. Breathing in to tilt forward. Breathing out as you tuck your pelvis under, pressing into your feet, and gently lift your hips just a wee bit more. We're aiming to slowly, slowly work our way up our spine, one vertebrae at a time. This is allowing us to warm our spine up, gently warm the muscles up as we engage them, slowly working our way up our spine. As you work your way further up your spine, you notice the backs of your legs engage. If you aren't feeling it in the backs of your legs and it's mostly at the front, adjust your feet. Maybe they're too far away. Maybe they're too close. Adjust your feet until you're feeling it in the backs of your legs, into your bum, a wee bit in your lower belly. But you should be able to hang out on your bones a bit and feel that pressing into your feet, gently lowering down. So you're continuing to lower and lift one bit at a time as you work your way up your spine. I like to continue to allow my hips to tilt forward and then tuck under. That might get a wee bit much for you. It's okay not to do that particular movement. It's more important to try and loosen your spine, create that wee bit of space. If by doing this repeated action one bit at a time, you're also strengthening rather than constantly going all the way up and down. So you're helping your mobility, helping to strengthen. And everybody coming up into your bridge, wherever that is, it could be further down, coming up into your bridge. Lovely breath in and a breath out. Breath in again, and on your breath out, gently, gently uncurling all the way down. Unclench your bum, relax everything. And again, breath in. On your breath out, tucking under, gently working your way up your spine. If you would like, you can tuck your shoulders under, clasp your hands and press your arms and hands into the floor. This allows you to create a wee bit more space in your chest, opens things up. Continue to breathe. On your breath out, untuck your shoulders, unclench your hands and slowly lower all the way to the floor. Breath in, and we're going to do that once more. So tucking under, slowly working all the way up your back. Tuck your shoulders under. If you like, press into your hands, into your arms. In my case, my arms come off the floor slightly, but I'm pressing my hands into the floor. Hips are towards the ceiling. I can feel this in the backs of my legs, into my bum. I can feel it in the front of my legs slightly as well. On your next out breath, untuck your shoulders, unclasp your hands and gently lower all the way to the floor. Let's bring our knees in for a bit of a hug and a roll around, softening things up again. And now bringing our feet back to the floor, again back into our bridge position, our starting position. Just going to tuck your pelvis under slightly and lift maybe an inch, maybe two off the floor, not very high. You should be able to just hang out on your bones a bit and clench your bum. And we're going to rock. We're going to do figures of 8 with our hips, just to loosen and allowing a bit of freedom and a bit of movement. You can sway all the way from one side to the other. You can rock, alternate feet. I like to send one knee away at a time. So I clench one butt cheek, relax the other one, and then clench the other butt cheek and relax the opposite. So that's a nice movement. It's a nice one, nice mind game. Good for your mental agility and that connection with your body and mind. And again, have a nice sway, loosen those hips up. We can get very tight in our hips, and with so much stress at the minute, a lot of us will hold stress in our hips. which affects our lower back and our legs. So just allow a bit of freedom, however you like to move, and loosen things up. And gently lower all the way back down to the floor, bringing your knees in, have a roll around. Now popping your hands either at the backs of your thighs or your shins, or you can cross your feet at your ankles and hold on to your feet. However you like to do it, we're all going to roll up to sitting and then roll back down again and then roll back up again. So we're going to do that a few times. Bringing your feet back above your head, gently rolling up. The first one might require a bit of momentum. Make sure you have space behind you, so you might need to come to the front of your mat. And we're going to gently roll back and roll back up again. You can roll back as far as you like. I like to go all the way back. When you're rolling back, really C-shape your back. So tuck your chin. Keep your chin tucked to allow that nice curve in your back. I'm going to do that again. And one more time. And this time, we're going to try not to bring our feet to the floor. So we're going to just hover. Find your balance. And do that again. This time we're also going to hover, so stay where you are. Rolling back and coming up and hover. Fabulous. Bringing our feet to the floor. Now we're going to walk ourselves back on our mats. Hands are going to come to the floor in line with your shoulders, or just behind. So just behind your hips. Nice big spread fingers. Give yourself a nice base to work from. And you're going to rock from side to side. It's lovely to massage your bum, especially after the bridges we've just done. This is perfect. You might notice you're walking forward in your mat. That's okay. Now see if you can do this without your hands. So you can use your hands to go from one side to the other. This is great for a nice twisty action. Again, massaging your bum. And then you can start sweeping your legs from one side to the other. So you bring them out and around, rolling back on your bum, giving yourself space. And if your knees are okay, you can always pop a blanket down. We're going to come up onto our knees. Trying to do it without hands. It's okay to pop a hand down if you need to, but try and do it without hands. This is good for strengthening the hips, good for your knees, good for your legs. And we'll do that once more on the left. Fabulous. From kneeling, we're going to come to standing without our hands. Bringing our right foot forward, reaching into that right foot, press in and coming up. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So coming to the front of your mat, let's come into our Tadasana. Take a moment so we know what we're coming back to. So feet pressing into the floor, you can have a gentle sway forwards, noticing your toes clench, coming back as your weight comes back into your heels. Forward, toes are clenching, front body clenches, coming back, and finding that center point. We'll have a gentle sway from side to side. Feeling the hips move to help balance, and finding that center point. Pressing your feet into the floor as if you're standing in big buttons. Now with the bend in our knees, hands on our hips, we're going to stick our bum out, stick our chest out, our belly out, real duck bum. And then tucking under, feel everything engage and clench in your bum and your tummy. Tilting forward, everything relaxes, you loosen. And once more, tucking under, everything's clenching. We're going to find that nice middle ground. Some engagement, not too much. Pressing your feet into the floor, drawing up, feel your thighs engage into your legs. Rolling our shoulders, opening our chest. Draw the shoulders down and your shoulder blades glide down your back as you open your chest. And opening our shoulders, shoulder blades drawing down, palms facing forward. Lengthening the back of your neck as if somebody's a thread coming out of the top of your head. Standing tall, releasing tension in your neck, have a wobble. And Chin is level with the floor. When we practice our yoga, our asana practice, I don't want to see you lead with your chin to get into the particular position. That's not going to help. All it does is add strain. So we're aiming to practice with some sort of ease. There will be muscles engaging. You may get a bit tired, but try not to strain. Try not to create more tension in your body. So soften your shoulders, standing nice and tall. This is your Shavasana. If you find throughout your practice things get a bit much, maybe come to your Tadasana or come to child's pose or pause the video and just take a moment. Now, on your in-breath, reaching your arms up, and we're going to sway. So press into your right foot as you lengthen up and over, pressing into your left foot to come back to center, lengthening up and then over. We're not collapsing from one side to the other and sticking our hips out. We're lengthening up and over, using our feet to root and to sway, and enjoying opening our body, coming back to center, reaching up, turning your wee fingers in, drawing your hips in. Breath in, and on your out breath, gently folding forward, big bend in your knees, and let's have a sway. So gently swaying from one side to the other. If you have a tight lower back, maybe you try little bounces. Softly, softly, warming up. Giving your weight into your left foot. We're lifting our right foot off the floor, sending our right foot back as far as you're able, lowering your right knee, hands to the inside of your left foot. We're going to roll around on that hip and knee, allowing your foot to rock in and out as you move forwards into your circles and backwards, changing the direction of your circle as things click and open. You're taking your time. Lovely. Framing your foot, coming forward, and then coming back as you peel your toes off the floor, flexing towards your face. Coming forward, opening up, and back. If you find you're not getting much lengthening with this into your hamstrings, flatten your back. So you're aiming to lengthen your back by uncurling it, so that lengthens your leg as well. So you're flattening your back rather than arching your back. So listen to what you need. Adjust your position. Discover what your body needs and listen. Coming forward, hands to the inside of your foot, bringing that left knee back into our cat-cow. On your out breath, tucking your pelvis under, arching your back, slowly arching into your back, looking towards your belly button, really arching into the shoulders, into the lower back, and then on your in-breath, tilting your pelvis forward, allowing your belly to fill. Your head is the last thing up. And again, starting that movement in your pelvis as you work one vertebra at a time. The slower you go, the more control you will have, and the more your body will open and respond. If your wrists get a bit tired, you can always fold your mat under and place your wrists on your mat, meaning your fingers are lower than your wrists, so that will take the pressure out of your wrists. You can also pop a blanket across to elevate your wrists. So listen to your body throughout your practice. You may have wrist issues throughout the practice, so listen to what you need. And continuing your cat-cow. Draw your shoulder blades together as you come into your cow. And now we're going to have a bit of freedom of movement. You can have a roll around. Maybe you've got extra tight shoulders today and you just need to rock in your shoulders. You can turn your hands out from side to side and have a gentle sway there. That's your wrists and your shoulders. You can walk your hands from one side of your mat as you sink back and then to the other.
Just allow freedom of movement into your cat-cow, into your spine. You might need to pause in any areas that get a bit stuck and release that tension with your out breath. Listen to what you need today. Everybody, coming back to your table, you're bringing your right foot forward, hands to the inside of your right foot, and we're going to roll around on that side. You notice my foot as it rolls out onto the outer edge and it rolls in. I'm also allowing my hands to move to where they need to be to allow my body to move, and changing the direction of your circles. Again, taking your time. Are you listening to your body? What is happening? Slow your breath. Unclench your jaw. Framing your foot, coming forward, and then as you come back, peeling your toes towards your face. Coming forward once more, and again coming back, toes coming towards your face. Rocking forward, rooting into that foot, opening that hip, coming back. Do you need to flatten your back to get more of lengthening going on? Don't force your hamstrings, please, as they are warming up. Rolling forward, tucking your toes under, lift your back knee, step to the front of your mat, and slowly curling up. We're bending our knees, we're sinking our tailbone down to take the pressure out of our lower back. Remember, we're still warming up, and your head is the last thing up. So it's almost like a nice wave travels up your spine. Everybody, breath in. On your breath out, gently folding forward. Having a wee bit of a sway. Weight into our right foot this time, stepping back with our left, lowering our knee. And we're going to check our knee is over our front ankle. From here, we're going to breathe in. Now I'm giving breathing cues. The main thing is that you keep breathing. It's okay if you're not breathing in the same time as everybody else. Listen to what you need. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. Okay. Breath in as we sweep our hands back. Breathing out as we come forward. Check your knee isn't collapsing in. Draw that knee out. You should be able to see your big toe. So our knee is over our ankle. Now let's onto our hips. So we're drawing our left hip forward slightly, our right hip back. So we're leveling our hips side to side. And then up and down, we want to draw that right hip down slightly, draw our left hip up, so we're leveling our hips that way as well. So that nice 3D, as our bodies are 3D. So side to side and up and down. Squaring everything off. Engage a wee bit into your lower tummy. This is a slightly stronger lunge, rather than just slinging ourselves in. If we always do this, you can cause more issues in your hip because you're really, that's very strong opening there. And there's a lot of yoga teachers that are a wee bit older are now presenting with lots of hip issues. So make sure you're engaging those muscles rather than just slinging yourself into things. We want you strong and long rather than long and falling apart, okay? So still reaching into that front foot, drawing your belly in, shoulders are drawing down. Still breathing. Pressing into that front foot, folding forward, bringing that knee back. Now we're going to come into a modified plank to lower down. There are different options. You can come onto your forearms and gently lower down. Try that. Or you can walk your hands slightly forward of your table, bringing your shoulders and your hips forward, engage into your lower belly, draw your tailbone down, looking forward, and slowly lowering down with control all the way to the floor. Please don't just banana into it and banana out of it. This causes a lot of tension in your lower back. It shortens it. It can cause more problems, especially if you have lower back issues. So if you find you can't lower with control, come onto your forearms. Work with where you're at. We're all on a different journey. So gently lowering down to the floor. Press your pelvis into the floor. You find a bit of engagement in your bum, not too much hopefully. Engagement into your belly, and you're using that engagement Now pressing into the floor to come up into your low cobra. Now hands on either side of your mat, you're pressing into your right hand to roll left, and you're rolling from side to side, massaging the innards. Good for digestion, good for general well-being, and keeping everything moving. Everybody give me jazz hands, give me a wave, lift your hands off the floor. This helps to strengthen your back. Looking up, looking forward, aiming to look towards your ceiling. Lovely, bringing your forearms to the floor, and you're going to curl your toes under, lift with your bum first. If that means you're pressing into the floor with your forehead and your forearms, that's what you're doing. Walking your hands back towards your knees. Let's warm our hips and our knees. So keeping your weight back over your heels, you're uncurling a wee bit and then lowering back down. And then pressing into your hands again, you're sending your weight back. My weight is coming back and I'm uncurling a wee bit more. And I'm coming back down. And once more, sending my weight back, uncurling, walking my hands forward, and I'm coming into my downward dog. Everybody's downward dog is a wee bit different. We're all slightly different skeleton-wise, so walk your dog out, ease your hamstrings. You can practice your downward dog with bent knees. Press into your index finger as if you're screwing your hands into the floor. Look towards your belly button, sending your hips up towards the ceiling. From here, lowering onto your knees, bringing your left foot forward. If it doesn't come forward straight away, pick it up, put it to where it needs to go. Knee over ankle, pressing into that front foot as we straighten, sweeping our hands back, coming into nice low lunge. Draw the left hip back, right hip forward, and level your hips off. You'll feel lots of little micro movements happening in your hips. That's strengthening. And we're going to keep breathing. And you can have a wee smile on your face. Isn't it awesome that we're able to practice our yoga wherever we are? Keep breathing. Draw your shoulders down. On your out breath, pressing into that front foot, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, step to the front of your mat. And we're going to come all the way up. So sink your hips, bend your knees, uncurl all the way up. Lovely breath. Remember to keep breathing, please. Breath in. On your breath out, folding forward. And we're going to halfway lift. So we're going to lengthen our back. I like to think about drawing my belly in. My ribs come forward slightly. Looking to the front of my mat. Just in front. Lengthening the back of my neck. And I've got nice length in my back. Flat back. Creating space. Engaging into my tummy. Breathing out as you fold forward, softening everything. Weight into your right foot, stepping back with your left, lower your left knee. Check your knees over your front ankle. Press into the front foot as you sweep your hand back on your out breath, coming into your low lunge. Adjust your hips. So that's right hip back, left hip forward, and leveling them off. Turning your hands in, so wee fingers are coming in. Reaching up, lengthening up that side body. Now you can have a small back bend if you like. Make sure you're bending from your T12. So that's just the bottom of your shoulder blade kind of area, or your bra strap. Lengthen up the front body as if somebody has a string coming out of your chest. Lengthening up the front so you're not just dumping back. Lengthen up the front, and it's up and slightly back. Continue to sink into that front hip. Keep breathing, keep reaching. On your out breath, press into that front foot, fold forward, bringing that foot back into our modified plank. Hands are under shoulders, tailbone tucking down, lower abdomen engaging, lowering down, elbows go back. Now you can come into your low cobra And this is where you stay if you have issues with your lower back or SI issues, anything like that, pressing that pelvis into the floor. If you're okay, you can come into a Sphinx. Think about drawing your belly button in to lengthen that front body and to create space in your lower back. Shoulders away from ears. Keep breathing. Looking up towards the ceiling, if that's comfortable. If not, you can look ahead. Listen to your body. On your out breath, gently lowering down. Forearms to the floor, tuck your toes under, lift with your butt, reversing back into your downward dog. So, looking towards your belly button. You can try your feet even wider. Some people find this more comfortable, gives them more space. But your feet should be about 2 fists apart. Your feet should not be together. Feet about 2 fists apart, looking towards your belly button. Hips towards the ceiling. Soft knees, do not lock your knees. Pressing into your index fingers. From here, lowering down. Bringing our left foot forward. Knee above ankle, pressing into that front foot as you sweep your hands back and come into your low lunge, reaching up with your hands, reaching down into that foot. What are your hips doing? Engaging into your lower tummy, into your hips, reaching up, and again you can have that gentle back bend. Your shoulders might be more open than mine, and you can think about drawing your arms in line with your ears. Remember, everybody's skeleton is slightly different. If you're practicing with your friend, you might notice your shapes are a wee bit different. On your out breath, press into your front foot, folding forward, curl your back toes under, stepping your foot to the front of the mat, and gently rolling all of the way up. Lovely. Once more, breath in. On your out breath, folding forward, halfway lift. Breathing out as you fold forward again, weight into our left foot, stepping back with our right, lowering our right knee. You can leave your back toes curled under if you'd like to try a high lunge. Pressing into your front foot, knees over ankle, sweep your hands back. On your out breath, coming into your low lunge, rotating your hands up towards the ceiling, wee fingers are coming in, and we're pushing into our back heel to come into our high lunge. Keep breathing. Try not to clench your front toes. Is your jaw clenching? Lovely. On your out breath, you can lower your knee or you can fold forward. Step your left foot back. And we're going to come into a plank and just pause. If this is a wee bit much, lower your knees. And think about drawing your lower belly in, sinking your tailbone down, and looking towards the front of your mat. So you have that engagement in your abdomen. If not, you can come into your high plank. You're looking slightly in front of your hands, lengthening the back body. Trying to remember all the things and hold the pose. Draw, press into your hands. Try not to dome your back. Engage into your lower abdomen. Send your tailbone away. Keep breathing. And we're going to lower down. You can lower down knees, chin, chest, and uncurl. Or you can come into your modified plank, lowering your elbows back, or you can come into your plank and chaturanga, making sure I'm in line. Lower your elbows back, coming all the way down. I was going to demonstrate a high dog. You can go into your upward dog, from your chaturanga or from the floor. Have your hands under your shoulders. You're aiming to bring your chest forward, and it's quite strong in your legs, so your legs are straight coming off the floor. Bring your chest forward, aiming to look up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers, engage your legs, engage your bum, engage your tummy. Continue to breathe. On your out breath, reversing back into your downward dog, however you get there. Keep breathing. Looking towards your belly button. Soften your shoulders. Pressing into your index finger, rotating as if you're screwing your hands into the floor. From here, we're bringing our right foot forward so you can lower to your knees, or you can pick your right foot off the floor and step it to between your hands. If it doesn't quite get there, pick it up, bring it forward. Lower that knee, leave your toes curled under, press into your front foot as you sweep your hands back into either your low lunge, remembering to reach with your hands. You can have a nice back bend. What are your hips doing? Or you can press into your back heel, remembering not to clench your front toes. Keep breathing. On your out breath, folding forward. If you're on your knee, lift your knee and step to the front of your mat. And curling all of the way up. Trying to exercise and breathe and talk at the same time. Now, we're going to practice our warrior two. Our little sequence. So, stand in the front of your mat, weight into your right foot, stepping back with your left, as far back as you're able. Our front ankle is in line with the back arch of our left foot, and I don't want you to lock anything, so soften a wee second. Let's check our alignment and what we want to be aware of when we're practicing. I like to think about drawing my left hip in, opening my shoulders. My shoulder blades draw together. By drawing my left hip in, I'm squaring my torso off over my hips. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to be back here. So come to over your torso. So level, by drawing my left hip in, I'm leveling my hips off, so I'm squaring my hips off. I want to tuck my tailbone a wee bit, so I'm engaging into my lower tummy. And we're going to warm into our warrior two. So, breathing in, on your out breath, bending that front knee. Now everybody, can you see your big toe? If not, draw that knee out. So you want to think about opening, you'll feel that engage into your thigh. I can now see my big toe. And you might notice, I have been practicing a wee while, you might notice you need to open your stance a wee bit more, and you can walk your front foot forward or your back foot back, but make sure you're aiming to have your knee over your ankle. And as we continue to practice, your stance might widen as your hips widen, as your body warms. Your hips warm and your body warms. So let's straighten that knee again, aiming not to lock, and we're going to bend, and we're going to come into our warrior two. So we're going against the little stick figures that you might see when they practice the warrior two, where your arms are in line with the mat. I want your arms in line with your hips. So you can see this by putting your hands on either side of your hips. Your hips are facing that way. They're not facing square to the mat. They're facing off at a slight angle. The reason we aren't practicing square to the mat is because you'll instantly see, if I square my hips off, my front knee rolls in, and to roll it out puts a lot of strain on my knee. And it can put strain on my back knee as well. It's very hard on my hips to square off to the edge of the mat. And I think as we progress through life, it's more important to listen to our body and work with it how it is. We're not little children, or some of us are, but long term it's better to work in line with your body and to not cause these injuries in future and bad knees in future. So think about drawing that knee out and allow your hips to be where they are. Engage into your tummy. Hands in either hips, bringing your thumbs to your armpits, stick your elbows out, and you notice your elbows aren't square to the mat, they're off at an angle, and just extend out. So my arms are now in line with my hips, front and back. Soften your shoulders. Looking out over that middle finger, draw the shoulder blades together, check what your back arm is doing. Back edge of your left foot should be rooting into the mat. Are you still engaged in your tummy? Are you still breathing? Lovely. Now we're going to reverse. So you're flipping your front hand, reaching forward, up and back. Now your front knee, your right knee should stay bent. You're aiming to lengthen the right side of your body. And you can look to your right armpit to help you open your chest. So try not to collapse over. We're drawing that shoulder blade back. We're looking under our right armpit, keeping our right knee bent. You shouldn't need to hold on to the back leg. It's just gently resting. Now on your in-breath, come into your warrior two. And on your out-breath, lengthening into our extended. So again, look under that armpit to help open. Draw your shoulder blades away. You should be able to lift that bottom arm. The work is in your muscles, in your torso. Lengthen that top arm. Really reach towards the top edge of your mat. Really lengthen. Keep that front knee bent. Root into that back edge of your left foot. On your in-breath, we're going to reverse. Out-breath. In-breath. Out-breath as we extend. In-breath to reverse. Keeping that knee bent. Out-breath to extend. Make sure your toes aren't clenching. Draw your shoulders open and away. Once more, reverse. And out-breath to extend. And coming back to your warrior two, straighten the front leg. Pivot your foot, so both feet are facing the long edge of your mat. And we're just going to take a slight fold. Soft bend in your knees. Hands on the backs of our hips, so we're drawing our elbows towards each other, drawing our shoulder blades together. Make sure your shoulders aren't around your ears, soften them down. Bend your knees, and we're folding forward, and you're coming halfway. So you're aiming to have your back parallel with the floor. I'm engaging into my lower tummy. I'm looking just in front of my head, so I'm keeping that nice bit of length. My eyes are straight down rather than towards my feet or in front of me too far. Nice long bit of length in your back. You can bring your hands to your legs. And then we're going to big bend in our knees as we gently pull ourselves over. Nice forward fold. This is a nice one just to sway from side to side. Ease your hips out a wee bit. We're just having a bit of a rest. And then to come back up, bend your knees, sinking your hips towards the floor. Your tailbone sinks down and you're uncurling. Very graceful. So now, pivoting your left foot towards the short edge of your mat. Draw that right hip in. You might need to widen your stance slightly. See how you go. Right hip's drawn in, shoulder blades drawn together. Just bend into that left knee. Can you still see your big toe? Are you sinking your tailbone down and engaging into your lower tummy? Rolling that left knee out so it's not just collapsing in, rolling that left knee out. Up nice and tall. And now bringing our arms in line with our hips, so you can, your hands on the other side of your hips, thumbs to your armpits, bringing your elbows out and lengthening. Soften your shoulders. What's your back arm doing? What's the back edge of your right foot doing? This is strong into your legs, into your thighs. Flipping that front hand over, reaching forward, up and back. Keep breathing, so you're aiming to lengthen that side body, keeping your left knee bent. You can look under your left armpit to help open that chest. Breath in, and on your out breath, coming into your extended, rooting into the right edge of your right foot, lengthening that right arm away as if somebody has you by the finger, keeping that left knee bent. You can look under your right armpit and then reverse, so forward, up and back. On your in-breath and on your out-breath, extend and reverse and
extend. And once more, reverse. And extend. And reverse, and once more into your warrior two. Straighten that leg, coming forward, and have a little bit of a wiggle. For those of you that come to class, you know I enjoy a bit of a balance. I'm a fan. Good for the hips, good for the brain. You can't think about anything else. So, we're going to step onto our right foot. Now you're going to be opposite to me. So your right foot. Step onto that right foot. Think about drawing that right hip in and just gently peeling your left foot off the floor. Find your focus and step back down. Let's step onto our left. Draw that left hip in. Peel your right foot off the floor. Engage a bit into your lower tummy. And step back down. And then we're going to step onto our right again. So step onto your right foot. Draw that right hip in. Peel your left foot off the floor. And bring your knee in front of you. Continue to draw up and lengthen up. Find your drishti. Find your focus. And then we're going to open our left knee out to the side, continuing to draw that right hip in. You'll feel this in your tummy. Bringing your foot behind. And left knee in front. And lower to the floor. And now onto your left. So step onto your left, engage that left hip. Bringing that foot forward. You notice my foot is flexed, my knee's bent. Drawing into that left hip. Feeling it in my tummy, and then opening right foot out to the side, behind, and forward, and lowering down. This is doing so much good for your hips, strengthening them up, and your balance is always a good thing to work on, so there's lots of micro movements happening in your ankle, all sorts of good jazz. Once more, stepping onto your right foot. Drawing that right hip in, bringing your left knee up and flexing that foot. Now we're going to try our warrior three. You go with where you're at today. I like to press my hands together to give me something to press against. Some people prefer to have their arms out. You do what works for you. Flex your left foot so it gives you something to press into. Draw that right hip in, and we're just gently going to kick that left foot slowly out behind you, as if you're pushing through custard or syrup. And you're gently coming forward to wherever your warrior three is. You might be up here. That's awesome. You do you. Draw your tummy in. Draw that right hip in. Push back with that left heel. Focus on your left heel. Now what are your hips doing? Are your hips level? You might need to draw your left hip down to level off. In fact, I think everybody generally needs to draw their left hip down to level off. Their hips, press into that right foot, keep breathing. Is your jaw unclenched? To reverse, bringing that left knee in and lowering to the floor. Give your right leg a shake. That's a bit strong on the right leg, isn't it? So, stepping onto your left, slow your breath. Stepping onto your left, draw your left hip in, peel your right foot off the floor, bending your knee, flex your foot, press either into your hands or your hands are out to have balance, what works for you, and pushing that back heel away from you. You might notice one side is better than the other. It changes regularly. Draw that right hip down to level your hips off. If you like, you can try airplane arms, so bringing your arms out to either side, reaching away with your fingers, engaging into your lower tummy, into your left hip, draw your right hip down, kicking that right heel back, and then to reverse, bringing your right knee in and placing it on the floor. Now, we're going to try a wee sequence. This is a nice one we've been working on in class, and you can all join in. Come to the front of your mat, or if your mat's very thick, step to one side. You want a wee bit of even ground, or you can challenge your balance and stay on your mat. So, let's start with our right foot. Step onto our right foot,
peeling your left foot off the floor, bending left knee, flexing left foot, draw your right hip in, kicking away with your left heel into your warrior three variation. If you like, you can bring your arms out in front of you or behind. Do what works for you. Draw into your lower belly, find your focus point, and we're stepping back onto our right foot. To do that, you're bending your right knee, stepping back. And this into our warrior two. Check your alignment, reach forward, up and back, and then extend, and then back to your warrior two, bringing your hands together, pivoting your back foot, so you're onto your toes, bend your front knee, and step up into your warrior three, and bring your knee forward, and your foot to the floor. And let's try that on the left side. So step onto your left foot, left hip draws in, bringing your right foot up, flexing that right foot, press into your hands or find your balance, engage into your lower tummy, kicking that right foot out behind you, slow your breath. Drawing that right hip down, kicking that right heel away, lengthen your back. Now you can bend into your left knee, stepping your right foot back into your warrior two, and we're going to reverse, and then extend, and back into your warrior two, and then pivot your right foot onto your toes, bend your left knee, really bend, and step forward into your warrior three. You can extend your arms, draw your right knee in, and place your foot on the floor. Well done. Go team. We're just going to come down into a nice squat before we come onto the floor. So, nice breath in, breath out as we gently lower. You can stay with your feet together, peeling your heels off the floor. Or you can step your feet a bit further apart. It's perfectly okay if your heels don't reach the floor. That's fine. You can widen your feet a bit more. See what's working for you today. You're aiming to sink your tailbone down, open your chest, look forward. This is really nice for your hips, to strengthen them. It means you get stuck on the floor, you can get back up. And what about functional mobility, keeping things moving? Lovely. So placing your hands on the floor, we're just going to roll down, and we're going to give our legs a bit of a hug, a bit of a roll around. And coming back up. Before we lengthen our hamstrings, let's just lengthen the sides of our hips before we finish. So you want to cross your, first of all, make sure your hip bones stay down with this. So you might need to consciously think, I always have to think about drawing my right hip down. You may need to pop a little block underneath to help give you a bit of space. See what's working for you today. So, we didn't use our blocks in the end. I was going to do a half moon, but next time. So draw that right hip down, sit up nice and tall. This is strong into the outer edge of your right hip. Now if this is strong for you here, you stay here. You can think about gently walking your hands forward, making sure both sit bones root down into the ground. They're not coming off. You might find your feet are either side. It depends. We're all very different. We all have different things going on in our bodies. Don't ever compare your yoga journey to somebody else's. It's much more important that you work with your body to help improve your mobility. Walking your hands in, coming back up to sitting, bringing your legs forward. Nice bit of a bend in your knees, and we're just going to pour ourselves over. And you can think about pushing your heels away slightly. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. So right foot is on the floor, left leg crosses over,
Both sit bones, you might need to move your bum out of the way, both sit bones rooting down, sit up nice and tall, and gently, you can stay here. This can be strong enough on your hips and into your IT band, into your bum, or you can walk your hands away. Slow your breath. You might notice on your out breath, you're able to fold forward slightly more. But again, always keeping those sit bones rooting down. Walking your hands in and up. Pivoting. We're going to take our tie. We're almost done, last few stretchy moments. And we're going to lower ourselves gently all the way to the ground. Taking your tie and placing it around the ball of your right foot, not the arch of your foot, the ball of your foot. And now you can keep your left leg bent, or you can straighten it, but see how you go. Start with your left leg bent, sinking that right hip down. So feel your hips heavy into the floor, and you're lengthening that right heel towards the ceiling. Now I have quite tight hamstrings, so this is perfectly fine for me here. You might have more flexibility. You might be able to get your foot closer towards your head. You do you. Keeping that left hip drawing down. And take your tie into your right hand, both straps, and gently open to the side. Now only open as far as you can keep your left hip down. There's no point tipping over. You're not getting the benefit from it there. Keep that left hip drawing down and gently open to the right, slowly, slowly. You can even bring your left foot flat on the floor again if that would help. I like to keep my hand there to help, almost to weigh it down, to give me some more awareness of where my body is and not relying entirely on my proprioception. And now bringing that foot back to center, bending. I like to swap feet while I'm here, so make sure it's going around the ball of your foot. You might need to adjust. Ball of your left foot, right foot on the floor, lengthening that heel towards the ceiling. If you get a sharp pain or anything else, reverse out immediately. Sink your hips towards the floor. You can try to soften your shoulders into the floor. If your head's off the floor, it's a wee bit much. You can strengthen it, but for now we're trying to wind down, keep your head on the floor. Again, if you're comfortable with your knee bent, you can try straightening that right leg. Helps make it a bit of a stronger stretch in your hamstring, a bit more lengthening. You can always adjust your tie as you go. Taking the tie into your left hand, right hand to your hip or out, but make sure that right hip stays down, and open your left leg out to the side. Now you might notice you have more opening on one side than the other. You're aiming to help bring that foot towards your head. Keep that right hip drawing down. Requires maybe more strength in your arm to help hold that left leg. Bringing your foot back to center, right foot on the floor, bringing your left foot down. You can give them a nice hug. We would roll around. From here, we're going to go into our Shavasana, so you can pop a bolster under your knees. That will help alleviate any lower back issues. You can roll your shoulders under, which allows you to open your chest and your palms face forward. If you don't have a bolster, you can pop cushions or a rolled up blanket. You can widen your feet, allowing your knees to fold in on each other. Or you can push your right heel away along your mat, and then your left heel away along your mat, and then allow your feet to roll open, to release, to soften, and to slow your breath. Just notice how different you feel now than when we started our class. Well done for making it all the way through.
invite you to stay in your Shavasana for maybe 5 minutes longer if you have the time, allowing your body to absorb your practice and to soften again. And know that you've done something awesome for yourself and for your body. You can gently scan down your body, releasing your forehead, your jaw, softening your shoulders into your arms and your hands, letting go of any tension with your out breath, allowing your hips to sink into the floor, feeling that lovely support, releasing your legs, your feet, and your toes. Feeling your tummy expand as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out.
As I mentioned, you can stay in your Shavasana for a bit longer if you're able. Thank you very much for joining me today, for joining in. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll hopefully see you soon. And look after yourselves, people, please. Namaste.